But
Oh, hang on, what's happening here?
Okay, you can work away. There's another lady coming on there. Yeah.
I just print out the invoices and I file them.
Okay. That's it, is it?
Bills. Like if there's some bills that need to be paid, then we do pay them, yeah.
Okay, and that lady sitting beside you, James, what does she do?
Which side? Sorry, yeah, they're all being hidden by this fake background. So Courtney, Jess, and Etienne are here. So we, depending on what day of the week, Kevin. So Brid works Monday to Wednesday, and as she says, any invoices that come in during those days, she'll print them off from the emails and file them for our current bookkeeper, which is office assist. Then Thursday and Friday and Saturday, it'll be Courtney and Jolene has just joined us, I think. Hey, Jolene. Jolene on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Courtney and Jolene would do the same process. So anything that comes in during those days, they print them off and file them. So yeah, they're probably the key people to take this.
Okay, that's great. I got that. A couple of additional questions. And who issues the bills to your customers then, to people with the animals?
So I so I go through them, print them all off, and we post them then at the end of every month.
All right. And I'll just come back to everyone coming in different days. Do you have a work phone there with this app on it, James, yet? Or
so no, I set that up last night, so I have that here today now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show everyone a little video of what Dext does. Now, it just recently changed its name to from Receipt Bank. Okay, it kind of joined it up with some other crowd, but it makes no difference what we're at. So I'm going to show you a video of what it does in 90 seconds. So, and it'll say it's just on my website. So let me just get that up there now. Sorry, now that I see. Actually, I'll do it here. I got lost on my own screen here. What are you looking at there, James, on the screen? Just so sometimes I get lost.
Yeah, no, it hasn't shared yet.
Oh, it hasn't shared yet. Okay. Wonder why that is down. Let me just something. Yeah, it's over here. Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'm just going to get up my own website here a second, and then I'll just share it. So anyone who misses a bit of this, they'll be able to, I'll upload the video of this to YouTube, and you can kind of check it out again.
Yeah, that's sharing there now, Kevin.
Yeah, that's grand. So I'm just going to go into our blogs here. And scroll down to it. I'm just waiting for it to appear. Here it is, yeah. So it's an American accent, but anyway, don't mind that bit. Okay. So this is what happens when we set up the app, and it kind of works through setting up, and then what actually happens.
Receipt Bank's free mobile app is the quickest way to regularly submit your receipts, invoices, and expenses on the go. Once you've downloaded it from either the iOS App Store or Google Play Store, tap on the app's logo to open it. If asked, allow notifications, then enter the credentials you use to access the Receipt Bank web application. And tap Log In. If you received instructions to download the app via an SMS message, all you need to do is enter a new password. To submit your first item, tap the camera icon at the bottom of the screen and grant access to your phone's camera and photo library if prompted. All you need to do is get your item in frame and tap the green shutter icon to take a photo. Simple. On the next screen, you're able to review the image and cancel the submission if it's too blurry to read. If you need to enter specific information, such as unique description or tracking class, you can do so by tapping Edit in the top right corner. Note that most of the fields are grayed out. These are the ones that we extract from the item for you. Tap Save in the top right if you changed anything. Then Submit for processing at the bottom of the screen. That's all there is to it. You'll see your item get uploaded to Receipt Bank and start processing. In no time at all, it will be in your inbox ready to export.
Okay, now that can stop there. So if you have a couple of bills there handy, James, would you photograph one or two of them?
Yep.
If that's all right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to log into James's Dext here now. I'm already in it, yeah.
Will I take a picture of one there now, Kevin?
Yeah, take a picture of one or two of them. And so, and then we'll come back in a little while, everything. So what it does is, while James is doing that, you just photograph it really and walk away. You don't mark in the date or who it's from or the amount of VAT or what it's for. So it'll work out most of it itself the first time. And then behind the scenes, we might have to ask you, what is this for? You know, I know most of it will be medicines and things like that at the start. But there'll be the odd time we'll be a bit thrown, but we'll tell it every time it sees a certain supplier to put it in a certain category in the accounts, such as electricity or medicine or subcontractor vet or something like that. Okay, that's done now, James, is it?
Right, that was the new app. It's just saying failed up. Oh, sorry, I hadn't connected. I'll do it on my own phone. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, doing your own phone is grand.
Into the internet, Jeff. Can you see this?
Okay.
Okay.
That's
So basically, you open up Dext, hit Add Document, and if it's black behind it, it's better, or not words. Take a photo. Okay.
okay. So I'm going to show some that James already put through. Okay, so there's tower flooring, and type of things we can see. All right, we can see it came in by email to James, and he forwarded it to a dedicated email address, and it started putting the VAT into its place. Okay, and it's posted to repairs. Okay, so we can always look back. And the second thing I'll just say is, if you lose a piece of paper or anything like that, it doesn't matter. If you do, you know, once it's in here, we have it. So if you delete the email, or you lose the computer, or you lose the piece of paper, it doesn't really matter. It'll always be here. And this will also go up into the QuickBooks program as well. So we'll have 2 copies. There's a bill from me, actually. Okay, Kevin Barry, accountancy. The VAT and the standard rate, not for resale, things like that. So there's something else. I saw that coming in. I didn't know what it was for, but I saw those coming in. So this is where they end up. You see this one here, he forwarded it from an email. Someone sent him a bill, and you forwarded that, James, into here. So
yeah.
Now, there's a higher level of Dext on the way through for you, James. I kind of got it moving this morning. And there's a thing here called messages. And if somebody photographs something wrong, we're able to message straight to that phone of whoever put it up there to say this was blurry, or you missed the top of it, or you missed the bottom of it, or something like that. But you'll always be able to check it yourself. So there's one that's done by hand. It'll read handwriting. That one was for garden maintenance. It's in here in repair, yeah. And see, there's a term there. Someone typed in garden maintenance, and you did that, James, as well. Anyway, on that phone at least.
Okay.
Okay. So that's kind of what goes on. But this is all your Dext here at the moment. So I'll just come back to the dashboard, and you can log into this on any desktop computer there. So I'm looking at Brid here. So Brid is probably going to need to access to this, James, right?
Cool.
Is that all right?
Yep.
Okay, the question to ask everyone there. What's your surname, Brid?
O'Rourke.
Okay, I'm actually going to add you here, all right? Because the reason everyone who enters on here needs to be on here is, at least if somebody up upload something, we know who uploaded it, and we can go back to them. And what's your work address, Brid?
It's just
It's what, sorry?
the work address, is it?
Yeah, email address.
Oh, sorry. The work email address.
Your work email address.
It's all of ours.
We all have the same one.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Just info@Millhouse Vets. I can
Is
give
it
you
all
my
the same?
like either or, I don't mind. Whatever.
Yeah, give us your personal for now anyway. We can always take it off again. Yeah.
So it's Brid Nash, BRID
Yeah.
NAH @hotmail.com.
Okay. And your own mobile, Brid.
Yeah, 087
Okay. Yeah.
666
Yeah.
8162.
62. Okay. Email address. Oh yeah, sorry, I just take that. We just put Brid Nash here. Yeah, that's fine. So if you were there at work, if some emails come in at work, Brid, that have got bills attached to them, if you forward them to bridnash@dext.cc, it'll come in here. We might try it now in a few minutes.
Okay.
I just wanted to put in your phone number as well, but admin use is fine. Yeah. And I'm just going to set you up here. So it's certainly worth initially you setting yourself up on the phone. So there you are now. And all you'll do is what was on that item was set up your password, and you'll be able to do what James just did there, is photograph a bill.
Apologies, but I think you're on board accident. Apologies for that.
Okay, James' voice coming over a bit there. I'll see if I can the rest of you hear me okay? Yeah. Can you hear me now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've just muted James for a second.
Yeah, we can hear you fine. It's no problem.
Oh yeah, because his sound was coming over. Okay, he's back on now. Okay, James, okay, you're back on now. So with Jolene as well, we can add you there, Jolene. It just means if instead of rooting for the phone, well, most people I know would have it on their own phones anyway. Like we're not looking into your phone or anything like that. You know, we don't get a hold of your photographs, and I've never seen that in all the years we've been using this. So the security side is really strong, and but certainly it's handy to know who would have uploaded the bill, because you can go back to them quicker and say there's something a bit smudgy. Just while I'm talking about entering the bills, and although there's a lot on the screen here, funnily enough, I'm nearly at the end of what you need to know, because a lot of this won't be that relevant to the day-to-day usage, okay? To add documents in, if you're on a desktop, like I am here, so once you set up your password and you log in with your email and password into it, there's 3 ways of entering in bills. One is photographing. Another one is just dragging a bill there. And I'll just see, do I have something I can drag in here? That's not a bill. Let me just see. I'll just pick up some old bill myself. I'll pick up, it doesn't matter what it is anyway. Just see, can I find? See what that is. No. There's one of my own now. There's one I sent to a guy. Okay, so you just drag it in like that and it'll work away. Going down as well. So the snap on the mobile. Okay, that's already giving me information. But this one to send through the email address, if I make that bit bigger for you. So your email address, think of dext.cc at the end. I like to give the same email address as people are using themselves. So James Daly 87 is an email address he's used to. So if he's in Curry's and you buy a iPad, they'll often say, do you want me to email you the bill? That's what they tend to say there. And you say, yeah, but if you email James Daly 87 at dext.cc, it's one less piece of paper. So if they're coming by post, you snap them on the mobile. If they're coming by email, you forward them to your dedicated email address. or if for some reason you have them there scanned, because you like to scan them on the computer, you can drag them in here. They'll all come into the same place. And once they're in a little while, we go to this other thing then called fetch. Okay, I'm just going to make this a bit smaller. Let's move yourselves. Oh, you don't have fetch on this, James. Okay.
No, not yet, no.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you, fetch is coming in here. Let me just log out fast. Okay. Actually, I'll log out really quick and come into my own one. All right. Just move it here. So fetch is, I'll just show you how it works because I can illustrate it very quickly on my own one. So I actually cancelled your subscription this morning, James, just so you know, hope you don't mind.
Okay.
And I'll ask them to switch you over to our plan, okay? And they'll probably give you back a few quid.
Cool.
All right. And that's how that'll work. But you're still fully operational till next February. You're paid, yeah. Okay, so there's no. Okay, so I'm just going to show you. This is my own one here. Okay, and funny enough, there's one there, eFlow. I see. You just have a look at that one. Is that's an email that came down? Yeah. Sorry. So I'm going to show you an additional feature you're going to see. These are kind of bills we're getting. So I'll just go costs, add documents. Okay, it looks the exact same, but we have an extra feature which you're getting. Connect to the supplier. Okay, invoice fetch. Okay, and these are suppliers that I've teamed up with. That it goes in and gets the bill because the bill doesn't come automatically. eFlow, Air, accounts, Stripe, and Vodafone. But if you have someone that we want to get a bill off, so I'm hearing a lot about 3 at the moment. Just click add connection. Okay, and it'll bring up another page now in a second. There it is. So they've loads of suppliers, and as your bills go in the way you're used to entering them, it'll pick up itself whether it might be a download situation. And if it is, we just click connect. So I'll go Black Hills Energy, must have got something off them. And it'll send me an invite to enter the username and password to Black Hills Energy. That's what it does. Okay. But the bills just land in by themselves is what happens. And I'm just trying to see my suppliers, find out more about invoice. Let me see now. There's a list of them there, and it's as long as the eye can see. Okay. Actually, that's not it. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So if there's someone that we have to download the bill, that hassle is gone, and the VAT is being claimed as you go. You know, so that's how that works. Just an additional thing while I have you there, just so you're not kind of surprised when it happens. I'm just going into my costs. So when someone sends in a bill, there's I mentioned it. This word messages is here. And we can just type in a message to someone. Hello, you know, it should normally be, would you type this again or something like that. But we can communicate directly, and that's where we want to be with you guys. And now I'm on my own stuff here, so I don't mind showing it to you. So here's Facebook advertising that came in just by email. Obviously, an Audi service, there's Air, you know, so just the normal stuff. But if the tax man wants any copies of anything, he's completely fine with PDFs and all that type of stuff. There's no need to keep the files. You mightn't be confident enough to go shredding yet, but certainly I would advise, you know, once you've something copied and it's in this, you don't need to keep the copies of it. All right. So I'll just come back to James's one again. And okay, so I've got you connected into our one there anyway, James. All right, so okay. So is there any immediate questions on that, or is everyone kind of bamboozled or offhand? Or are you all going easy? Let me know.
You say that you can eliminate all the hard copies.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, it's not that I came up with that. It was that, funny enough, a Limerick accountant, so that's ages ago. He said, if you think about it, most invoices are just printouts of something already on the computer. So once we have it back on the computer, you know, he said that to me ages ago, but we've been using Dext for 6 or 7 years now, and not once with myself or anyone else have I had any issue about wanting to see the original, you know. So that's, I wouldn't worry about that at all. But it does avoid putting up the shelves, the lever arch files, the punching them, putting them in order, putting them into date order, putting up more shelves, more storage, etc., etc. Okay. Yeah, so it archives them. So even statements, we shred those, but we often scan them in here, but we don't publish them up. So I'm just going to show you where these bills end up, by the way, as well. Because just go back into my text.
Are you finished with Dext now, Kevin? Are you going on to QuickBooks or?
I'm on your QuickBooks now, and did you photograph a little one a few minutes ago, was it?
Yes, exactly, yeah.
Okay. So just showing you what happens. James photographed that. There it is. Couple of quick things. Very, very good photograph. If there was a keyboard of a till behind that now, it could throw off what this would read, but it's copped on, it's little. It must have gone into general expenses before. I'd say there is VAT in it, mind you. So there is, yeah, 23% VAT, 12.15. Now with the likes of little, you wouldn't know what's on it. It could be 0, it could be 12, 13.5, it could be 23. So you see this thing, supplier rules.
Your screen isn't shared at the moment, not Kevin.
Oh, is it not? Is it not sharing? Sorry. Thanks. Always pull me up on that because I lose my way every now and again. So that's what James photographed 10 minutes ago. Okay. And it's picked up the date on it, 11th of July, who it is. It might be programmed to go into that category already. Okay, it's got the total 64.95. It doesn't know the VAT rate because with the likes of Lidl or any supplier, once we kind of see what it is, this will guess most of it, but then we kind of program it so that when you see it, to put it into certain places, or if it's seen it before, it's called setting rules. Now we won't move from where you're kind of used to putting it, but that was general expenses. So I'm going to program this guy just so you know how it happens behind the scenes. Well, actually, this guy was a 23% guy. Class, I'll leave out for the moment. Tax rate. Now, I've spoken to you about the tax rates, James, a bit, but standard, not for resale, is the 23%. And if it's a bill, call it a bill. You need to do most of the time. If it's related to something you're recharging a customer, we'd even put the customer name there. I'll just apply that. Okay, and now it's actually got the 12.15 here, 52.88. It works it out, right? So I'm just going to publish that now. Okay, so that's gone out of the way. No, that one's coming in. Did I send you a bill, James?
I thought I saw one there yesterday.
Okay.
No, I can't remember now.
Maybe I did something with that a minute ago. Can't remember myself now. And
Oh no, that was the one you just uploaded as a practice, wasn't it?
Oh, was it? Okay. Maybe it was.
That was invoice somewhere for that.
Okay, so let's I'll leave this open and I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to have you share the screen now, James. All right. So all that happens on Dext is you're just photocopying or forwarding email of it's gathering in the purchase bills. That's all it's doing. That's all you'll notice it doing. Okay, everything else kind of happens methodically behind the scenes, and nothing gets published up unless we kind of know what it is. Or if it does go up and we don't know what it is, it goes into a query account, and I tend to have that emailed to someone every week, and it says, "What are these about?" And you just email back. So we have that going out all the time, and then when they come back in, we just reallocate them. Yeah.
Excellent.
So, but Noel will tell you it's not what's in the accounts; it's what's not in the accounts that you have to look out for. So, so kind of looking out for that. Okay. Are you sharing there, James?
No, so is that the Dext side of it finished now, or
We're done now, yeah. Let's go over to QuickBooks now. Yeah.
QuickBooks? Okay, so yeah, not to bore the guys. Will ourselves and Noel work away from here on out?
Yeah, well, just with the photographing app.
Oh,
What's-
sorry.
What's everyone's view on that? Do you want to try your own personal phones for the moment, or do you want to just have the work phone and Brid will give it a crack at her own?
So we can have the work phone.
Or do you want to have a chat about that?
Yeah, so we can have a chat about that and see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have the work phone set up anyway, and that'll be at reception all the time, so they can use that. And as I say, if there is an issue and you text back, it'll hit that phone hopefully. So whoever took the picture should be able to respond pretty quickly.
Yeah, just a way that can help us out anyway as to who's doing what is if people have their a work email address. If we have a work email address, they can log in on the work phone with it's kind of logging out, logging in a bit, but at least it tracks back to who was there. But if that's not that big a deal because the place isn't that enormous, you know, we're fine with info at Millhouse Vets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If there ever wasn't, you know, quite, like I say, it's pretty structured that Brid is always Monday to Wednesday, and then yeah, it'd be Jolene and Courtney after that, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So yeah, even if there was, we'd be able to tell from
It's trackable, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah. Just to find out, yeah.
Excellent.
Okay, that's fine. Well, thanks, ladies, if you're heading off and saving the animals. Very good.
Thanks. Thanks.
Yeah, great, guys. Excellent.
Thanks,
Thanks very much, guys.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, Brid. Thanks, Jolene.
Later. Bye.
See you later.
But if you're here, then if it's just me, you, and Noel, then James, we can probably go to the full version.
Yeah, 2 seconds there, Kevin.
Okay. I'll just pause the recording a second, James, to stop there. There's the thing we tick on the supplier rules, which is publish automatically. So you mentioned Electric Ireland, so it's always going to go to the same place with the same VAT rate. So when they come in, it'll put it into all the categories and publish. It'll zoom through Dext. It won't stop like we just had there. It'll put it into the right place and straight up into QuickBooks. And then we'll have a look now where it should appear in QuickBooks. Yeah. And the PDF is there as well. So from your point of view, you wouldn't have to look at Dext that much unless there's something you want to check out. You know, what's on Dext will have arrived into QuickBooks. So we'll see it now in a second. So will I share my screen, James, or do you want to?
Can you share your screen? For some reason, my key pass is not behaving today. Right.
That's fine. I'll get over to here. So I have to remember where I am now. Okay, I just shut down because
just to clarify, Kevin. Yeah, so like the guys at the moment aren't doing anything in QuickBooks anyway. So I suppose there's no real, there's no real need, is there?
no, there isn't. No.
Okay.
No.
Cool.
The Dext is a bit if they're hoovering up anything that
that's
comes in the
most
door is the main
important.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a referencing system in Dext, Kevin? So like if you're receiving 100 invoices a week,
Mm-hmm.
when Dext has the field set up, you know, so the nominal code in QuickBooks, the VAT rate, goods for resale, goods not for resale, and so on. Is there an actual reference number so that if you go to find them later on in QuickBooks that you can trace the original invoice back into Dext?
There is, yeah. So I'll pick one of them now. I'll pick let's go profit and loss. We'll just pick the one we just did. It should be here. Let me see what date this is. That's to today. And that was that vet supplies or something? What was that thing earlier? 23%.
It was general.
It was general, was it? Oh yeah. Okay. So, oh yeah, it was this guy, 1701.
They
So,
were.
is that him there? Is it in the bottom?
Yeah. So how would you find that? Say if you wanted to get that isn't it actually, but it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Oh,
Okay.
it is it, yeah. €12.15
Um,
VAT or something, yeah.
Yeah, you see
So
this first thing
How would you go
here.
back and find that invoice now? Say if you got a revenue coming after you and they wanted to see a copy of that invoice, how do you find it?
There's a
Okay, well,
picture
the
there.
copy is here anyway for the start. It's in QuickBooks.
That's ideal.
Yeah. Yeah,
And that-
so
And you're now in QuickBooks.
I'm in QuickBooks, yeah. So
That's
it's in
ideal.
2 places, and I'll pick another one. Anything with RB, I'll just check this ocean hygiene. That may have been before my time, but yeah, so that's not there yet. And because they're only kind of getting used to the QuickBooks now, or to the Dext now. And but here's another one now that's recent enough.
That's
coming
ideal.
through.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So there's no
So-
need for a reference any longer because it's there.
exactly. Yeah, and now it might make the odd mistake. I mean, I don't come across it that much. But if you want to go some type of cross-checking, I'm back in Dext for a minute. If you see suppliers here, okay, it'll bring them up, all that he's been using. And there's a couple of things here. If this is green here, it auto publishes up. Okay, it zooms through here. But say you just want to check out that you think there's been duplication. I'll go with unpost here. You can see there's 19 have gone through here already, and they've all gone to printing and postage. So if I just pick on unpost and up here under archive, you can check all 19. Just in case you see 19 payments in QuickBooks, but only 16 bills. We'll go back and for some reason or other, maybe something just didn't post up right. Okay. These are back in 2020 now. And I see there's no destination thing there and that. We just check that one get published. History. So that was archived by this lady. What is that? It's a bill, all right. Uploaded by James. Now, that girl didn't send this one up. Okay. But it's there anyway if we want to do it. You know, we can still do it. You unarchive and you publish. Okay. That's your department now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, for certainly with this year we're sitting in 21, you should be finding they're all attached there. And if they're not, it either means we didn't get it and the payment has gone through and then that's accounted for, or we did get it and it didn't publish up for some reason or other. People misunderstood what was meant to happen. Now, once it starts coming through fairly frequently, we set it to auto publish, so it always goes up. And you'll be able to see James on that phone, whether it's published or not as well. It'll be sitting there in a little waiting room, you know. So, and
So
actually,
publish means transferring from Dext to QuickBooks.
Yeah, every time. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's that. So I know I have a little agenda here. So when I look at it, so I don't forget a few. So tour how Dext works, entering Dext bill, tour the dashboard of QuickBooks. Okay. But I suppose just for your traceability anyway, for a start, Noel, yeah, the bills should always be on here. But the way the program works is if the bill is in here, then you can pay it. If there's no bill in here, why would you be paying it? You know,
Yeah,
would be the
correct.
thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so that's really what it's about. Get the bills in. Yeah, and that's the two of them. Now QuickBooks will take bill scanning directly now, but it's not that tested yet, and it's very hard to beat Dext of what it's at. So we haven't moved away from Dext at all. So and won't either, I'd say. So now another question where I was asking about the VAT rates. Okay, I'm just looking at my listings here. So under taxes. Now this is the UK version we're on here still. And I've been saying to James, there's an Irish version. I was actually a panelist on a webinar yesterday, and QuickBooks are really committed to Ireland, you know. So, but this version James has is actually the same one I personally have myself, because all my clients are tied into it. And any new clients, we're moving them into the Irish one, and we have an Irish version as well. So that's the direction we're going in. But any VAT rates that James has on here are brought, any changes on QuickBooks are brought down into Dext. So Dext is looking for these VAT rates. And if he makes one of these inactive, it'll be automatically inactive on Dext. So what runs the show is QuickBooks. All Dext does is look up and see what categories does he have up there, what VAT rates does he have up there, what suppliers does he have up there, you know, and said, okay, we know that now, and when the bill comes in, it aims to match them all up. Yeah. So if a new VAT rate comes out that's relevant to this business, this is where you'll see it. Just in taxes here. Edit that. The bank. Now this is. Have you used QuickBooks much? No.
Yeah, we would.
Oh,
We
yeah.
would have like QuickBooks is a version of Sage. So
Okay.
we use Sage Professional. We have all the Sage products here. So yeah, we would see it quite a lot.
Okay, come on.
They're all pretty much the same anyway, Kevin.
Okay, and well, I'll just touch base on the bank connection for a minute, because I was looking at it. Well, we people kind of watching it. So there, that's a handy one now. Is that the bill we did earlier? I
Yeah.
wonder.
Yeah.
64.95.
It's all already matched.
Yeah, so he scanned that up a few minutes when we started. It's published up here. The only thing we held it up for, I wanted to check the VAT. And every day the bank sends over, or whether it's asked or not, what happened yesterday. So if you want to know what happens today, you go up here and go update. Okay. And it's actually, as long as the bank lets it in, the bank runs the show, by the way. So if the bank is doing something and doesn't want to release, nothing will happen here. But it might bring down a few things to do the 13th in a minute. Yeah, it did there. Actually brought in a lodgement. Okay. So, but whether you press that link or not, it always tells what happened the previous day. And any money that goes out, it's looking to find a bill that it paid. So before I click match, right, I'm going to click on that little bill. There's the bill again. This is where we were. It all seems familiar now. And remember, all that really happened here was James photographed that bill. That's all he actually did this morning. And now we know where it goes in the accounts, what the VAT rate is on it. And you see here, it looks like it's still unpaid. So I'm just going to X out of there a minute and come back to this match. So when I match that up, this is like a waiting room of stuff just come out of the bank account, and it's not actually in the accounts yet. That bill, I'll just see, will it jump up at me here as well? There's another way back to it, plus and bill. Wait for that to open up. Recent bills, yeah. So let's shortcut to the recent bills. It's now marked as paid, and we can see the money that paid it. Okay, so if by accident there was another bill the same amount, it might say, did this money pay that bill? So you always have to kind of glance at what money is paying what. But that's what's going on there. Yeah, there's on post now. Now this column here is what it's reading from the bank account. So it's wondering, there's obviously a tenner gone to on post, and it's thinking, is this POST home something to do with on post? It may or may not be. In that case, it could be something else you bought for a tenner, you know. So from my point of view, I wouldn't hit match on that one unless someone told me, yeah, that tenner paid that, you know. So, but it can happen. People just say, oh yeah, it must be right, yeah.
And if you have one payment to cover multiple invoices, do you just go into, and we'll say the bank link cross checks it, do you then just go into the payment and allocate it to the invoices?
And that's one way, but you saw there a minute ago, remember I said 2 matches found?
Yeah.
If there's a big payment, say 10 grand paying a few invoices, when you hit the matches, it could also have different amounts here and the same supplier, and you could tick a few of them. Okay. Another way is you post it on here, the payment, to accounts payable, and then you do exactly what you said. You go into plus and pay bills, and this will list down unpaid bills, and I'll click. When you see credit applied, it means there's money in against these names that's not allocated to a particular bill. So VetSmart is getting lots of money going to it. So if I tick this, it's still 0 up here because it's got money. You see it down the bottom.
Yeah.
It's got money belong to it anyway. That's not set against. I could tick them all off, and
Right.
then it'll mark them paid. You know. So
Right.
that's
That's normal system.
Yeah, and I think what might happen in practice, if someone in there is paying the bills, what they'll do is they'll say, okay, we're paying these VetSmart bills. Now they happen, actually, I'll pick one that doesn't have a credit. So he's telling me here there's 39,769 worth of money paid in against VetSmart that's not put against bills. Okay, so it has to be, that's obviously all last year's stuff. I'll pick one. I'm just looking down. There's one now where it says not available. So this IDLS one, if I was sitting there in Brid's job or something and said, well, I must pay these bills, I would just tick IDILS. It'll write the payment for 36.30, and just at the top then, I just need to tell it how it was paid. If it was a check, I put the check number there, or if it's a direct debit or something, I'll put that there. So, so it goes, yeah. So it's but the trick to holding is get the bill in first. If the bill is in first, then you know what you're paying, you know.
So that part, no, Kevin, like you're still doing that part, aren't you?
Well, we're not paying the bills.
Yeah. So
but we're allocating the money against
yes.
the right places.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So when I say we're not paying the bills, we might know which money paid what bills, but we'll leave it in such a way that it can be offset easy enough.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah. And like if we can't work it out, if we can, we'll just pick a box and put it against it. Yeah.
Yeah. So in general, the bills at so the VetSmart bills, what I usually do is I'll pay. See, it could be like 36 grand for a month, we'll say. So it'll be 3 payments of 10 grand and 6,000 payments. So that's usually the way that'll go through, just because I can only send out 10 grand in a day.
Yeah.
And that will pay off a month, and then I just pay off month by month, we'll say. So that's the way they're the big payments. VetSmart are our biggest supplier. And the other suppliers, then the girls pay most of the other suppliers because they're small. Like they might be Ocean Hygiene for 1,000 quid or something, and that 1,000 quid might be paying for 2 or 3 months supply of stuff. So yeah, so it should clear up to a certain statement.
Yeah, and if
they're like payments on account.
Payments on account.
Yeah, so if you were paying payments on account, it's just a matter of being able to interrogate them again. You know, if there was one bill you didn't want to pay, does that ever come up that you don't pay a particular bill, or
not? Just so that there's no errors, I like to just clear to a statement.
Okay.
So if they send me a statement for June, I'll clear that statement. So then I know there's nothing left on the account for the next one.
And what happened if you had if they billed you for something that you had to return on, or it was damaged?
Yeah, so I'm usually a month behind. I'm at least a month behind with VetSmart. So I might be, as in I might have 30 days credit or 60 days credit. So we'd have all that stuff figured out by the time I'm paying. So like say for example, it's July now. I probably haven't paid May yet. But I'll pay May in one chunk. But like any issues with May will have been sorted by then.
Okay. So it wouldn't be in here, in other words, would it be deleted? Yeah. Or resolved.
Or we get a credit note, or and that would be entered.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, things evolve a bit. I'll just come away here for a second. So, like I mentioned earlier, the statements can be entered in on Dext as well. They can be photographed. It's handy. And when you click on a supplier, at least we'd see the statement in there. You know, it wouldn't be published up now.
So where would I do that? Sorry, Kevin, because we're not doing that at the moment.
Yeah, you'd photograph it and we'd just archive it. That's all we do. So it would, if you photographed it, it would come into that waiting room. It wouldn't publish up, but we'd tell it, don't publish statements. It'll pick up the word statement.
Okay.
And say it was to do with agri-health. Well, there's nothing in there.
Well, VetSmart would be at the bottom.
Yeah, VetSmart, yeah. Yeah, it's just handy. I mean, the amount on it would nearly give it away that that it's a statement, you know. So VetSmart. VetSmart. Is that the name it's going in as, is it? Vet.
Oh, we actually have nothing entered in for VetSmart through Dext yet.
Oh, have you not? Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, you'd be sitting.
But they should still be a supplier though, shouldn't they? Aren't these suppliers pulled from
They
QuickBooks.
are, unless we just jump down to the V's and see what.
Oh, there it is,
Oh,
there
there
it
it
is,
is.
sorry,
Yeah,
Vetsmart.
oh, there's a
Yeah.
space in it. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
So, just on like this is stuff I don't bother showing people, but it's where we're setting. Yeah, so I'm in Vetsmart now. I'll just go down to my profile. Account details. Okay, still got you as the United Kingdom there. We just check that. I'm going to change that to Ireland, right? So I did that already, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe jump back some way. Okay, between there for the moment. Okay, and you just okay, the system settings. I can't remember where to find it now, but there's a place where we just tell it what to publish up. I'll find it now. I'm looking here.
Oh, that's fine.
I'll find it when I'm not looking. Yeah. So.
Yeah, cool. Just one question there, Kevin. So at the
Yeah.
moment, the girls will print out the statement, and Vetsmart is the big one, okay? Because that's where we're getting everything from. So at the
Okay.
moment, the girls print out the statement, and they'll tick off all the invoices on the statement to make sure that we actually received all those invoices and the amounts match correctly. And once they've done that, then they're happy enough, and they'll hand it into the bookkeeper. But we won't be handing it into the bookkeeper anymore. But I rather now printing off the statement. Okay, I'm happy enough with that. Now, at the moment, they're printing out all the invoices as well, obviously, because they're putting them in the folder, and that's a really handy way to match one against the other, because you have a big bunch of invoices and you tick them off on the statement as you're going through them to make sure you haven't missed any. Is there any place I can go into in Dext where I can see all of the invoices that I've uploaded for example, Vetsmart, and then scroll through them to see that I have them, so that I can correlate them against my statement?
Yeah, you go into suppliers.
Okay.
So you're on the dashboard here. Okay.
Yep.
So if ever you get lost in any of these things, just stay in the dashboard, and suppliers and customers are there, but suppliers is one for you in this instance. And it's getting a bit familiar this to you now, but when you'll see, and well, Vetsmart was down and nothing in it, but say A1 there, you can see he's got one bill in so far. You just view and it'll in date order show you what's in there.
Excellent.
And
okay, perfect.
if that one doesn't look right, you just click in and there it is there.
Cool. Excellent. Okay. So yeah, they can correlate them against that, or
yeah. So that's
Cool.
a handy place, and you can just tick them off.
Save the environment.
Yeah, well, we shred every day, saves printing them out, saves. One thing to watch if you're forwarding, well, do you remember on the photographing, there's multiple and there's combine. Combine is a really long bill. You do the top and the bottom. Do you know on the photographing on the phone there?
Okay.
So just when you, my own phone is somewhere around, but when you click the photograph, it'll give you single, multiple, or combine. So single is just that bill in front of us. But you would use the combine function if it was a really long bill, like an apple green bill or something like that. That is too long to get it in one shot.
Okay.
But multiple, if there are 20 invoices left out on the table, you go bang, 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 and it'll submit the 20 as separate, as 20 singles. Yeah.
Okay, so combined is for a big long statement.
Yeah,
and
a big long bill, where you might have it gone on to a second or third page, and perhaps that happens with Vetsmart.
It would, yeah. So now, how do I? Is Dext clever enough that if I overlap my pictures and the line, it'll correlate, or it'll know where to join them? Yeah,
it showed on. Yeah, it is smart enough for that. And on that video I showed earlier, it did show the thing about entering. Combine, that little video I did at the start there. If I can find it again. It was on YouTube there. That thing. Stop that one now. Maybe it's outside. So, but it's on. Show it again. Just for those girls, because they could tear off doing a load of work and make it simple. But we'd kind of catch it quick enough anyway, you know, and get back to them. So to show what I'm referring to. Just not now. It's on this one. Up here. I'll speed it up now. I won't watch the whole thing again.
Is the quickest way to regular message. All you need to do is enter a new parent and grant access to your phone's camera
Here
and
it
photo
comes now.
library if prompted.
Yeah.
All you need to do is get
Okay, I should just get that thing out of the way. So when you click on it, it goes single. It's just for the one bill here. Multiple if you've got a number of separate bills. And there's another word then, combine.
Yeah.
And that's the one where the invoice might run onto 2 or 3 pages, but you want them to come through as one invoice.
Cool.
Okay, I'll just click
Sorry,
on
just clarify, Kevin. So multiple is I have 5 invoices, all from VetSmart, and I just want to shoot them all together. Do they have to be from one supplier? Is my question.
No, they don't.
You can just
No.
have a load of different invoices, and you just want to shoot them all together.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
Okay.
combine, I would just see this combine
your
show up
item
here.
in frame and tap the green shutter icon to take a photo. Simple. On the next screen, you're able to review the image and cancel this.
Actually, it didn't show the combine one there. I thought it did.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw it as the app anyway.
But combine is where the invoice might run onto 2 or 3 pages. So, because if it's just in a crowd like that, it could be that long, you know. So, but listen, they'll learn more from the odd blunder. Like we'll catch the blunder and come back to them, and weave away a merge on them anyway if they're a bit around the place. So,
Excellent.
you know, we can pull them together a bit. So, and it just evolves. Next thing, VetSmart changed their style of invoice. I think it's a new supplier. You know, we have to merge that. You know, there's things happen anyway in life with all these businesses. You know, so.
Well, that's excellent. Yeah.
So I'll just come back to so that's the bank connection.
Explain more about the bank connection.
Not really a whole lot more to say on it.
Like, does it come in automatic? Do the transactions come in automatically every day?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
And how do you do a bank rec?
Okay. So this is the home page here, and if ever you kind of forget this, we've stuff on YouTube. So I've just clicked. So I'll go back a second there. No, I'll go back to dashboard, and I know you're pretty familiar with it, but there's 2 places where things are hidden. One is here for entering bills and sales invoices and timesheets, and the other one is here on the right, which is more to do with the setup and the programming of it. Okay, but bank rec isn't in either of those. After all that, it's here on the home page. So you click on the bank account you want to reconcile. These items that have been downloaded and not put anywhere, we call it the waiting room. So we'll just leave them where they are for the moment. You go into bank register. So the word reconcile is there. And I'll just obviously click on it. And how it works is, okay, anything that has a green icon beside it has come in directly from the bank. And anything that doesn't have a green icon has been entered by people there on the ground. And it's waiting to be either matched up or deleted or cached, whatever. So when this reconciliation has started, so I'll just go edit info. So when it started, the balance of the bank account was that. On the 5th of July, it was this, okay? And in this case, it's underway, we see. So the difference is still that amount. And okay, and now I haven't looked at this one now for July to see why it is, but I'll show you how it ends up in a second. So to look at back ones, accounting reconcile, I think they're here, yeah. Yeah, history by account. Yeah, all previous reconciliations are here then. No, so I'll click on one, and there's one now. So statement ending balance is 122166. I'm not sure what that balance we just looked at. And the opening balance that time was 116. And this amount of checks and payments and lodgements went through in between the 2 dates. And these items here are the ones that are cashed. And then further down, there'll be ones that aren't. There'll be deposits that were lodged. So this is obviously a big one. There's the deposits lodged and where they've been put. And then there's the uncleared items here at the end. And it's those two at the start, I noticed. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So so you can always go back and say with everybody, we encourage people to try and reconcile every day or every week anyway, you know. So
yeah,
especially a place like this, where we reconcile these ones. And
the system updates the bank daily, automatically.
Daily, yeah. Yeah.
Automatically.
Yeah, unless the bank don't send over the info for some reason. Yeah.
We only started doing that recently, Noel. We only started doing that a few weeks ago. So that's you know, I thought that was pretty handy.
Yeah. So like the bank control the updates. So it's not a case that QuickBooks say to the bank, we're getting the information now. It doesn't work like that. The bank sends it over during the night. And if for some reason it doesn't come over during the night, it's because the bank didn't send it over. And that it doesn't happen much, but it does happen. Yeah. There was a disconnection. And every 90 days it disconnects, and we have to recontact the equivalent of James and say, give us your codes there and put it back in action. And it could disconnect for some other reason. People click disconnect or whatever, So are you with AIB, James? Is it?
Bank of Ireland.
Bank of Ireland, yeah. There's a bit of an issue with Bank of Ireland at the moment with the Irish version. The bank have updated systems and it's not updating at all. So I got a note this morning about it, but they're all actively working on it, but it's been that way for about 2 weeks. Yeah. Okay. So I'll just stick there for a minute. Just then well, actually, sorry, I'll come back a minute on like the first glimpsey information is here. So there's these items here where it says to review. They're the items out here in the waiting room, predominantly, 24/7. Doesn't equal 35, but it's close enough, so it's not sure about something. But if I click on the words profit and loss, it'll actually bring you up the numbers, and you can change the dates what we're dealing with. So since June, and if I wanted to know who was in those sales, you click on that, like it'll drill right down. So the sales, and that's why I was asking who does the invoices, in case there's a few people on earlier there. There's the bills you did. And I know you send out the bills, but if you have the client emails there, you can actually save and send it. Now, it won't let me here, but if I send it to myself. Now, I won't remember this on the next time you put in Patrick O'Brien's email. Not in this place, but so it'll send, here's your invoice. Yeah. And he's paid, obviously, because that's why it's saying 0. So
yeah.
But it comes to QuickBooks, and you can check if he's opened it and all that type of stuff. So that's how that goes. And that just came from me just landing on the dashboard there, clicking. But if you want to know more specific stuff yourselves, there's a caption here for you to know. I'll go down to the end here for my accountant. So the stuff that you would be after, trial balances,
yeah,
all that. Stuff that VAT wasn't claimed or paid on. There's a VAT section as well. Now, the Irish version, and I'm not ready for it yet with them. I'd like James to move to the Irish version sometime, but there's been an RTD report here as well. The closest thing you have at the moment is this one, the VAT liability report, where it details the different rates, the net and what was charged on them. That's only, there's not much in that one now. This quarter, yeah, okay, July. Okay, but say last year. It'll give you all the big numbers. So, but the actual RTD report is where we need to get to. Yeah, so. Things like who owes you money and all. Well, I think you're okay on getting paid, James. Oh no, you wrote a good bit, weren't you?
Yeah, no, yeah, I thought I was. Then you told me I wasn't.
Well, I was just looking at what the accounts were saying. I don't know. Was
Yeah,
everything in there?
it's partially my own fault. Yeah, we did a new version release with VetDrive, and we're currently fixing the ability to send bills. So I'm a bit behind on my sending bills this month, but I'll catch up.
Okay. Well, a task for, as if she hasn't enough to do, but here's the alphabetical list. In that reports area anyway, Noel,
Yeah,
there's everything you need really, you know.
yeah, I see it.
and,
Yeah.
and they're all malleable, you know, you can last month, this quarter, all that type of stuff, you know. One thing to watch, you see where it says report date and current. So if I was to do the end of last financial year, okay, I find this one good, last year. So that's gone to 31/12. I'll just run that. So this will tell me what James's company was owed last December 31st and how old they were. I'll just jump down to the end. It's 46,000 there, okay? So that's what was owed on that date. But if I want to know of that crowd, how much am I still owed? You go to current, run it again. Okay, so of the people who owed us then, what do they owe us now? We'll see, it's this, the bigger number, down to 9, okay? So it could just be handy to see like a post-balance sheet event thing, you know? So
All of that is coming out of QuickBooks. That's not indexed.
no, this is all QuickBooks, yeah.
Yeah. And how do your sales are your sales coming straight from VetDrive then into QuickBooks, James?
Yeah, they're coming straight in live.
And are you putting the lodgements into QuickBooks or into VetDrive?
So my lodgements go into my bank account, and then my bank account is selling QuickBooks, is my understanding.
And
Okay, and just a handy place on the reports. There's oh yeah, I've set you up a few of those, James. What are these transactions for this year? Yeah, this is where it goes into in twice actually. You see. Yeah, we mustn't have. Yeah, we're not sending them to you yet. So we've a report here that anything we don't know, like these type of guys, they'll be messaged to James once a week probably. But we were whittling them down. You see them there. Yeah.
Are you sending these to me yet? No.
No, not yet. No,
Okay.
no. But it's one of the things of what information you want to know. Yeah.
Cool.
But I just had a look in custom because that's where they're designed for that. But here, where you see a green star, if there's anything in particular you want to know about, you just green it here, and it's always the top then when you come up. Okay. It's rooting around for it all the time.
Cool.
Handy one there too is the audit log. This just really for Noel. You can kind of see who's done what.
Yeah.
So all the stuff I've been on there this morning, you know. So, and it's not you're playing the blame game, but at least you can look back and find what did happen, you know. So,
What should I actually be looking for here, no lads? If I'm coming in here and trying to figure out whether I'm up or down or not doing much profit wise, as in what would actually be a good indication for me?
into accounting there and your P&L.
Okay.
yeah, and if there's a profit on it, where is it? You know, I think when I looked at this, I saw a big profit, and I saw a good bit of money in the bank, but not as much as the profit. So, but you were owed 80,000, so that's why there wasn't that much there. So, okay, so I think it showed you had 200 grand made, and you had about 80,000 in the bank. I was just wondering where the rest was, and there was 80 grand owed to you. Okay, so the bottom line, I mean, basically, if you're collecting money, you're in profit. So if there's a profit there, that's great. But have we got it all yet?
Okay.
You know, so accounts receivable, which is, I think, also was probably also there.
So you have various people inputting invoices into Dext.
Sorry, no.
You have various people inputting in or photographing invoices, and they're going into Dext.
Yeah, so we aren't really going at it yet, Noel, I'll be honest with you. I've been kind of playing around with it, but
Yeah.
I'm hoping from today on that will be the case, yes.
Yeah, it's a very good system. You just need to make sure then that that people are only putting the Dext invoices into QuickBooks once they're authorized.
Okay. To try and cut out on,
In case, so everything is going to be geared towards if the invoices, as Kevin said, is in QuickBooks, then it gets paid.
yeah,
But if you have an invoice which is incorrect, so like a disputed invoice from a supplier, it shouldn't find its way into QuickBooks. So you need
Okay.
to just look at that system of control.
okay, cool.
And that's what you said, Kevin, is what you mean by publish.
Yeah, well, well, I suppose our view, but by publish, we want it up there and claim the VAT in it and all that, you know. If there was something in dispute, I'd actually put a comment on there. There's when people photograph, they actually have an option to write a comment, and it would appear here. So it might just be a matter of don't pay.
Your screen sharing is done again.
Oh,
okay.
sorry, it's gone, is it? Yeah. So when they photograph, there's an option just when they photograph at the bottom of the picture to put a comment in there. And sorry, let's come up here. And that comment will come through here.
Say, for
Yeah.
example, that invoice was, that one is, just 1 second there now, my battery is gone.
We lost, oh no, he's there. Oh, yeah.
No, he's just grabbing his charger out. So.
I lost the picture there. And
Okay.
If you have an invoice, James, so it's just from your own point of view, the system is excellent. If you have an invoice which is in dispute, you need to be able to capture it.
Oh yeah, cool. I get. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I get you now. That that's a good point. So at the moment, now what we're doing is everything that's ordered is we have like an Excel sheet that is input into the Excel sheet. And then when a delivery comes in, it's correlated with that Excel sheet. So that in other words, what we ordered, we actually received. And then when an invoice comes in, it's correlated against the delivery sheets. So in other words, we only accept an invoice that we actually got a delivery for. And at that stage, then we're inputting it. So that would hopefully pick up on those disputed ones. In other words, somebody sending us an invoice for something we never received.
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I mean, I suppose what Noel's saying there, if the bill is in dispute, don't put it into Dext until you're happy enough, you know, that's.
Excellent, yeah, perfect.
But if it does make its way in there, it's to have a note on it to say don't pay, because it'll stand out. It'll stand out when you go to, say, the pay bills area here. I'll just pick up these. So people will be, this way they're kind of thinking, will I pay that? You know, and when they're looking at them, the memo would say don't pay. There'll be a memo here, don't pay, you know, so. I mean, it could be missed, of course, but at least you put in the, but anyway, if it's something that you're definitely not going to pay, don't bother putting it in. Just
Yeah,
save
exactly.
talking about it. Yeah, another thing, another figure, it can change, of course, is if nobody walked in the door, how much does it cost you to run the business every day, you know? And to work out your break-even sales. So you've a good few working for you there. But it might be a case of you need 2,000 a day billed out before you're making any money, you know?
And where can you find that?
Well, the first thing you have to do is work it out on the back of an envelope, more or less. I mean, there's only about 42 work weeks in the year. I don't know for vets, but if you count out the bank holidays, do you work the bank holidays and Christmas and that?
Yeah.
You work all that. Okay, so you've got 52 weeks a year. And so add up your loan repayments plus your total expenses for last year, if that's, I'm not sure if that's on here. And that would be a number anyway. And divide that in your case, I presume, by 365. So we'll just see what that is. That's last year. We'll even say last month. Let's go last month. It'd be handy just to know the number. We used to stick it on the till in places. You know? So there's 21,744 there. A few small things. So 21, and are you paying any loans, James? Yeah.
I do, yeah. I have 3 loans, I'd say.
3 loans. Okay. Well, I'll have a quick look. So 20. If those figures for June are up to date, there might be a couple of late bills to come in. So 21,744, and so there's one anyway. 53. You see it there. Yeah, some repayments there. So that's 494. And the other 2 payments, you don't know them top of your head, do you?
They're around the same money.
Are they?
I think I've like about 2015, and that 35 loan is quite recent. If I was guessing.
Well, say it's looking, I'm at 23,226 based on that. But let's just say, give yourself some space, it was 25,000 a month, because some bills come in once a year, and that type of thing. Divide that by, we'll say 30 days in the month. So 833 a day based on those figures. You're probably looking at 1,000 a day has to be billed before you're making any money.
And what does that cover now? That covers wages.
It doesn't cover the medicines.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
That covers wages, rent, whatever's on that bottom line there a few minutes ago. One more. You do it, well, it's not too unscientific. Last month, where was I? Last month. Yeah, it was so wage expenses, utilities, repairs, rates, bank charges. Probably when you go back over a year, the once-off stuff like insurances and things like that would show themselves. But it's a figure to start with anyway. So didn't sound too bad actually there to me. But so that plus the loan repayments would be
okay.
It's a starting figure anyway, but you're looking based on that. But you can look at it again as this kind of gets more populated, so
yeah. Cool.
So I find a figure like that is just to know once you're over that, then you're making money type thing. So
yeah,
another way.
So sorry, sticking with the profit and loss there. Sorry, okay.
Yeah.
Your screen share is gone again, okay, I think. Just sticking with the profit and loss there. So what are my key figures there actually?
Well, you know this man better than me, Noel. What's
you might jump in there, Noel, please. What am I meant to be looking at here?
Are you trying to figure out how much money you're making?
That's pretty much it.
Do you want to know how much you're making per minute or per hour or?
Even for a month there, it says. So like, it's like, say for example, if I want to come in here,
Is everything up to date now before we get there? Are all your sales invoices in, all your purchase invoices in, bank reconciled?
You might have to go back a small bit, Kevin, would you?
Yeah. So do you know, I suppose the old adage, James, is garbage in, garbage out. So if the system is bang on up to date and everything is in and reconciled, you'll be in accounting there, Kevin. And see, just scroll down a bit, Kevin, there.
Sorry, yeah.
So you'll be in, well, yeah, you'll be in reports. Actually, I'm sorry, you were there a while ago. Reports, and then you want to go to P&L, profit and loss account. And then you see there's a range of dates, and you can edit your range of dates, and that will tell you, what profit you're making. So for example, in that period, 1st of January 21 to July 21, you've made 93,871.
Okay.
That's assuming all information is correct. And then to tie that up, you would then, if you looked at your balance sheet from January to the 14th of July, we would be able to tell you where the money actually went. So, that money could have gone into debtors, it could have gone down to reduce creditors, pay your bank loans, or go into the bank.
Okay.
So it's actually possible to reconcile everything to the cent.
Okay.
But perhaps not for this meeting.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Excellent.
so I'll compare it to the previous year, yeah, just even quickly there. So I mean, we've an indicator that we know if we're on track or not in this business here. And so when I asked about the break-even point, like we like to know our sales on a Friday, and we have a target sales for the month. So it's texted to everybody on a Friday. We know what the sales were, and if it's below the break-even, we know we're held up somewhere, and obviously for us a 4-day week is hurt. It can hurt us, So there now, to show James, you have 15,000 worth of equipment and assets a year ago, and you've 37 now, and you've bought a vehicle and some office equipment, and that's where some of your profit has gone into buying those.
There's some of it gone into fixed assets, some of it gone into debtors. You see your debtors went up by about 5,000, so some went in there. So it's possible to trace it all, James.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and you borrowed a bit more. So there's a lot of numbers here flying around, but effectively, if you need to know when you're making money or not. So that break even sounds at the moment like 1,000 a day.
Okay.
Now, if you were a 5-day a week business, it'd be different. It'd be, we'd be condensing 7 days worth of costs into 5 days. So
Yeah.
that'd be higher. So, but spacing out the way you're doing doesn't sound too bad. Yeah.
Cool. Is it possible, Kevin, if no, it's not relevant for here, but I do know other veterinary clinics, and this is a question that other veterinary clinics might ask you when you're dealing with them, is that they like a report based per vet. In other words, they'd like to be able. Now, I don't even know if that information is coming through from VetDrive, but in other words, in other practice management softwares, they can print out a report at the end of the month saying, Barry the vet did 30,000 euros worth of work, and Michael the vet did 40,000 euros worth of work, and I did 50,000 euros worth of work.
Yeah.
I've no clue if that's possible, or
That would be at the VetDrive side.
yeah, but I'd be like all of the sales are going in, but I don't know are they being allocated correctly in QuickBooks that report will be possible to generate.
Well, if say Barry the vet does the work, you could have a nominal, and it's being exported from. So does VetDrive compute the invoices raised by Barry?
That's what I don't know. And is there a way of checking in QuickBooks if there is?
Well, it's quite simple in QuickBooks. If when you're exporting from VetDrive to QuickBooks, just set up a separate nominal code in QuickBooks for Barry.
Okay.
Like, so you could have 001 sales Barry, 001 sales, 002 sales Teddy.
Yeah. Okay.
And that would tell them. Yeah.
Okay.
I would imagine that would be quite simple, wouldn't it, Kevin?
Yeah, it would. We did that here a few years ago, and I'm
So
not
you
sure
can set up your nominal chart inside in QuickBooks to have separate nominal codes for each sale.
Okay.
Yeah, you also could do it here by location. You see this location? I see you've got Brid there, Rachel. So if every employee is to set up a location, it doesn't have to be a place. It can just be a. So there's a thing here, all lists and locations there. So if all of the vets were location, whatever the name is, okay, and then there's another report, which looks kind of nice at the end. It's profit and loss by location, basically, and there it is. There, profit and loss by location. That'll list across all the vets to the total. So in this case, if all these were the people sending out the bills, you see there, Rachel 129. There's you, James. So you can see who's doing the billing. Okay.
What time? That seems okay. That's fine, actually. So
this might go from VetDrive by location. They just need to integrate with the word location. Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, that's brilliant. Okay,
yeah.
So
I'll give you a really quick story. I worked in a pub in England one summer. I was on the buildings during the day and the pub at night. And this barman thought he was great. He had the highest sales, and he was telling the boss man that. So I said to him, "But you didn't pick up a glass all night." So he didn't get the award.
He said what?
But he didn't pick up any glasses around the pub, you know, because he thought he wanted to beat the rest of us on sales.
Yeah.
He left the place a mess. So the person with the highest sale, you know, look behind the figures too. So
Well, to explain that one, Rachel definitely does more work than me, but because so it's very seasonal. So you're after picking my best period there from the 1st of January to the 14th of July. That's my busy season. So I'm glad you picked
Okay.
that reference range. If you picked a
Yeah,
longer reference range, it might be a bit embarrassing for me.
That makes you look good there, actually.
Exactly, yeah. So
You look
appreciate
great,
that,
Kevin.
Kevin. Thank
But
you.
what you're really saying is you're not that hot.
No, definitely not. If you spread that out another few months now, it'd be a bit embarrassing, I'd say.
That's
but,
it, yeah.
yeah, wouldn't have moved. Yeah.
Okay, no, that's
So,
excellent.
okay,
That's another way anyway. That's you know.
No, because when you're working with the other clinics, Kevin, that is a report that you know the way you were saying that you can generate these reports via email to us, you know, systematically.
Yeah.
So that is definitely a report that you could suggest to other clinics that they get, okay? Because even every week, if they got that report, that's the stuff that they want. They want to know which vets are pulling in what money.
All right. Okay. Very good.
Excellent. Okay.
Okay. That's very interesting, Kevin.
Yeah, it's good, all right, when it's going well. But this is pretty set up, this one. So security as well, I suppose it's always relevant as well. So yeah, a bit like you set up the thing there today, James. As soon as I was logging in, it was emailing your info address to make sure I was you, like, you know. And obviously I wasn't, so I didn't go in there then.
And does what other package does Dext link to?
Oh, it links to all of them. Sorry, yeah. Sorry, it links to. I've seen it come up everywhere. Let me just see. There's, you know, when you go into these app stores, it seems to be there all the time. It certainly links up with Sage and Zero and all those. I don't know what they tell me on here.
Yeah, at the top left there, kind of Zero, QuickBooks, Sage.
Oh yeah. There's a Zero, QuickBooks, Sage, and other software. Yeah. Yeah, it's equally as strong as QuickBooks anyway. Yeah. And you go, yeah. And even if it's not integrated, that's a great place just to keep the bills. It just stays on here, like, you know. But anyway.
And who created Dext?
An English crowd. Dext now is a combination of, Receipt Bank was the English crowd, and Dext is a combination of Xavier and Receipt Bank. And I've never used Xavier, but I hear them all raving about it. But it doesn't work with QuickBooks Ireland yet. It probably works with QuickBooks UK, but it doesn't work with the Irish one yet. Yeah.
Why are they raving about it, Kevin? In comparison to Dext?
Well, Xavier is Dext mixed in with Receipt Bank.
Yeah.
So it's the new name. Apparently, Xavier is very good at reading. If you tell it what it wants, it can go into the various into software and assemble the report you want. It could be just what you asked before there about the vets. It'll, once you give it the parameters, it can work away. I was on a webinar one time, and the guys who had tested it out were quite blown away by it. And apparently, with Dex, what it does is when, you know, we're submitting stuff and publishing stuff, it's watching the activity levels, and it'll point out the repetitive mistakes certain businesses are making, or where things have to be corrected all the time, and it brings you straight into efficiencies, you know. So it might be that a certain person is always up, you know, photographing them wrong, or it could be that we're always having to reprogram a certain amount of suppliers, like Lidl and Aldi, because they're multiple VAT rates, and it'll offer a solution. I don't know how it does it. I haven't used it enough to know enough about it, but apparently it's like another human who's just specializing in efficiencies. Yeah.
Excellent.
So yeah.
Okay.
But it's not.
I'm getting small bit tight on time. So have you another few things to go through, Kevin?
Well, I've covered my stuff. What I'm going to do is I'm going to this is recorded. I'm going to put this on YouTube, and I'll email it to you, James. You can forward it on to Noel there, and or anyone else. Now the only thing is, with your own people there, all this other confidential stuff is on here. So
you didn't split it, no.
I didn't split it. So I'm not sure. Can I split it? I might be able to split it
Cool.
before I do that. So
You don't want to have your internal people looking at your P&L accounts anyway, James.
Yeah.
yeah.
Or you'll have very big salary increase demands.
Yeah. So I'll see if I can take it from here. I probably can, but I haven't done that before. So it just occurred to me there now. But I'll work something out anyway. So
Excellent.
Okay.
Okay, fantastic.
yeah.
Okay, sound out.
Noel, thanks a
All right,
million.
See you in a
Kevin,
while.
I might keep you for 2 seconds, Kevin, if that's okay.
Oh yeah,
Just to go
sounds
through,
good.
just to go
Okay.
through the other veterinary clinics.
Okay, thanks very
Okay.
much. And
No, thanks very much.
Nice
I
meeting you.
have Brien here with
Yeah.
me as well, James.
Thanks.
Oh, Brian,
Yeah.
I didn't know you were there, Hal.
Sorry, yeah, just sit at the side here. Sorry, I couldn't
Remind
get
yourself,
to
Brian.
my PC there.
You're keeping
So
well.
Okay,
yeah, great though.
Okay,
See you later,
thanks,
Brian.
James.
See you later on. Thank you. Bye-bye.
okay,
See you,
bye-bye.
lads.
So, Kevin, as I say, I just in a nutshell, because, yeah, I must fly